After watching the film, were you still pretty encouraged by your guys' effort?
Thought we improved. I thought we got better this week. We got a long ways to go. I wish we would have started out this way after our first game, because I think you improve an increment each week, and we did this week, and I think that we need to continue to get better. I think that some good things. I think there's only a handful of plays that the game could have been differently, and we need to figure out how to get those plays. It's one thing to play hard. It's another thing to play hard and play precise and have things in context, and we need to improve on that.
Defensively, I mean, obviously there were the explosives that got away from you a little bit, but did you feel like you contained them okay, considering what they'd done this year, and just in terms of assignments and being in the right place and all that?
Well, I didn't think it was okay, but I thought we had tremendous effort, and I thought we had a lot of people playing together hard, and I thought that, with as we grow as a team, we can play more precise. And down the road, when we have other opportunities, I think we'll be a better team for it. You got a team like Oregon that's several years in the making, and a lot of things have gone their way that they've earned, and then and they've stacked up several recruiting classes and done a lot of really good things to build what they have. I mean, that's where we need to get to. That's what we need to do, but I think we're headed that way. But it's difficult to make it happen overnight, just like it didn't happen for Oregon overnight. But I do think we made some progress. I do think it was a closer game than the score. I think their sense of timing's a little better than ours is. As a team, they know when to tighten up and focus in on what counts a little better than we do, where we're a team a little more random plays type of stuff.
What's the feeling around the team, whether it be in the locker room and film study in the last 24 hours with a good showing against Oregon?
Well, nobody's satisfied with just a good showing. I mean, but you get film and it identifies, it identifies what you can work on, what you can improve on, and how you can get better. I think everybody's committed to do that.
A little bit of a contrast in styles from opponent to opponent this week against Oregon State.
What's that?
A little bit of a contrast in styles going from preparing for Oregon to preparing for Oregon State.
True. I mean,
what's the challenge of that? We'll put it in question for you.
Did I get it right?
You got it,
yeah. I think Oregon State's actually more traditional, or Oregon State's more traditional opponent. I mean, that's the thing is there's, especially in this conference of all conferences, there's a lot of variety to what people do and what they do offensively. Oregon's more the one that you don't see as much as opposed to Oregon State. Oregon State, there's elements of what they do in a lot of offenses, really, but there's nothing easy about them. I mean, they're a good, solid team, and they're a team that took their lumps last year and feels like this is their year.
I feel like the offense is starting to click as far as receivers finding space, your quarterback's making the right read. Is it still evolving and finding the right rhythm now? Improving,
but certainly not there. Getting better, but not there. I mean, we got a little bit of flash out there and some positive things, but it's not as tight or automatic as it needs to be, and some of it is folks just need to work together for a longer period of time.
Do you like how Connor's leading the offense, specifically like how animated he gets out on the field and how fiery he is?
I think he's done a good job. I think, he does a good job with that. Explosive guy. I think that, and he does a lot of explosive things. Now I think that, just the consistency, just the steadiness, just the, okay, they're giving me this so I can get that. And, and a lot of times you got a guy that's really wants to play well, real eager, that type of deal. So he tries to make too much happen on every play. And there's going to be, a 5-yard completion's a hell of a play. And so there's times where, this is what they're giving us, and, this is what I have, and I need to take it, I always tell him the more plays the more plays that you have out there that I could have done myself, the easier it is. If I could have thrown that ball, then it's pretty high percentage and it's pretty simple. Well, you get superior athlete, guy throws the ball all over the place, works for years. Well, he doesn't want to throw the ball that Coach Leach could throw. He wants to throw the ball only he can throw, Well, the ball only he can throw is going to be a heck of a deal, and it's going to bail you out of a bunch of stuff. But the more of them you get that I could throw, your percentage is going to be high. You're going to attack the integrity of the defense, and you're going to move the chains. But the thing is you can't always get the ones I can throw. But where you can, you need to take advantage of them. And and then of course we'll go back there, and there'll be real tight coverage. He'll thread it in there and hit some guy in the face, and maybe we catch it, maybe we don't. But and it'll be a heck of a play, and he'll have out-executed the defense too. But then, well, can you do it 10 times in a row? Well, that's hard to do that 10 times in a row, But some stuff underneath, or some stuff where they're overplaying or something, you can dump that off for a period of time. Plus, you want to hold them accountable for the space. So that's what we're working on.
Does a guy need to get a certain amount of games under his belt to develop that kind of understanding of finding things underneath and all that?
You definitely need reps and experience, and you try to accelerate that as much as you can with film and practice. And there's not a magic number. Everybody's different. I think he's ahead of schedule, and he's doing a lot of really good things.
On that note, do you think Toole does a better job of those things?
I think they're similar. I think they're both similar, and I think they both do some good things. Connor's kind of given us a spark and has been playing pretty well, and so we've stuck with him.
Connor talked about fresh legs. Well, he just talked about how, it's nice to have fresh legs always coming on the field with the depth of wide receiver. So how do you think that?
We try to have 8 of them play. You have your first 4, and then we want, somebody behind them. So some rotation of 8 of them playing, yeah.
How do you think that helps him and helps the offense to have fresh legs coming out?
Well, I think it's good if those legs have enough clues to make a play and to stick their toe on the ground and explode out of the cuts and consistently catch it and tuck it and turn and go straight upfield. Then I think it's good. Can we do it with all 8? I don't know about that. But we can. We're making progress there too.
Christoph Williams saw a couple snaps at receivers. How has he kind of worked his way back and to the point where he can get on the field now?
Gradually, I think he did some good things the last game, starting to kind of emerge and do some stuff, and we're hopeful that he'll be able to contribute more.
Marquise Wilson's out there kind of making catches in traffic, and then he's also seeking out contact and trying to deliver blows. Is that what you were looking for when you were in spring camp, kind of harping on him about practicing better and being more physical?
Well, I think Marquise early in the game struggled a little bit, and then I think as the game went on, he got better and better. And then, but he needs to be a physical, complete player, and just excited to go out there and play. And I think, towards that middle end of the game, I thought was really hot and really played well, and aggressive, wanted the ball, that type of thing.
What's your expectation as far as players watching film on their own outside of team stuff?
We don't have any control over it. I'd like them to watch as much as possible. I would hope they're watching it now, but the powers that be that don't let us coaches have a great deal of say in that, other than make it available to them. But yeah, you need to. I mean, if you're dedicated and you care about what you're doing, and if the desire to be great exists at all, I mean, you know, you read and study your work. I mean, you know, I don't know whether you guys went to college or whether you went to journalism school or whether, you know, you started out in the mailroom or whatever, but, you know, you guys all learned your trade. You guys all paid your dues. You guys all, you know, they didn't just hand you a camera the first day and say, go get 'em, Tiger. I mean, you work your way into this stuff, and so do players, and part of their thing's film study. And so if they care about it at all and want to really elevate their position, they'll dedicate themselves. And I think that, you know, I mean, in most things, including football, the harder you work, the luckier you get, and I would say watching film's part of that.
Daniel said you guys use the huddle service.
I don't know the titles or the names, you know. I mean, it's all buttons to me, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to push the buttons. And so then when my buttons are unpushed, I say, hey, and somebody comes in and they push the buttons, and they'll say, and then I used to say, so now what buttons did you push so that when you leave I can figure it out? And I've fouled up more computers than I've ever gotten to work correctly. And so then after that they get exasperated and they say, I'll tell you what, when you need these buttons pushed, just call me and I'll come push them again, because they don't want me to screw up their computer. So it's been a vicious circle for years, but nevertheless I watch a lot of film.
Actual controversy about that, if coaches not handing over tape or handing over incomplete tape or not using pre-snap, is that something that kind of sticks in the back of your mind? Am I getting everything? It's really going on.
Well, in a game you can actually tell. You know, in a game you can tell because there's a clock and you have a play-by-play. You can tell. I mean, has anybody hosed me on film recently? No. I mean, as over the years, oh yeah. I mean, when it was 16 millimeter and video and stuff like that, there are all kinds of hijinks that would take place.
What kind of hijinks would take place with that kind of film?
Film would be missing. People would claim that their thing didn't work, which sometimes was true. You know, which obviously sometimes was true. Like 16 millimeter, you'd have some kid go up there to shoot the film. I mean, you didn't know what was going to come out of that, you know. It'd be, you know, the kid with the broken leg, hey, come here, we need you to shoot this, you know. And, oh, okay, how do I do it? Oh, just push this button and aim, you know. Sometimes they would video or film some extracurricular stuff, like you'd be sitting there watching, and it'd be like, you know, what the hell's this guy doing? I mean, it's kind of like you'd see a plane or something, and that thing would end up going up in the sky, or you know, it's like you'd be looking at girls in the stands or something, and that thing would turn with him, and I mean, there'd be some things where you wondered what they were looking at. Video, sometimes they would strategically make sure it was really staticky when it came in. Oh, there would always be the somebody sent it late. Oh, well, it didn't make it on the plane. So you're getting ready for a game, and you get your film 2 days later, and they've already had theirs, you know, that type of deal. See, because, and this was, because there was a time where, you know, GAs or younger coaches would sprint with this film to the airport and get it on a plane to fly to the opponent's place. In some places, depending where you're at, you might have to drive a couple hours just to get to the airport on Sunday, where there's limited flights and the rest, to get them to express the film to you know, whoever your opponent was, and vice versa. Well, I mean, a lot of stuff could happen. I mean, you know, as a young coach, you'll have been up all night, you know, watching the film, cutting it up in meetings. And then you're hurrying to the airport, and you're late, and there's only one flight or something like that. And there's all kinds of stuff. Or you know, somebody forgets to bring the film. You know, you're flying all the way out to, and you're supposed to exchange film, you know, with somebody, and then somebody forgets it. I mean, it's endless. I mean, it's almost like recruiting and things like that. Well, now the button pushers have taken over, in this case probably for the positive. And, you know, so it's like, that's why, you know, and especially now people say, well, did you watch so-and-so on TV since you're going to play him in 3 weeks? No, I did not. Because, you know, I have all of last year's film. I have all of this year's film. And then even though I can't push the buttons to get them to come up, there's people in my office that can. Boom, you know, there I got 12 games, you know. And so it really is handy from that standpoint. And then it's like within the conference, sometime on Sunday, everybody transports their film simultaneously, so everybody has everybody's film. Like you know, I even have everybody's film that the conference has played. You know.
Any questions on the line for Coach?
Yeah, Mike, you were talking about Oregon State's defensive end tandem and how you guys can kind of contain that kind of the duel.
Oregon State's defensive ends and how we handle them or whatever?
Yeah.
Do the best we can. They play really hard. They're talented. I don't know. Basically have a bunch of people go to Corvallis sometime this week, take them out, make sure they stay out too late, Shanghai them, and leave them in a foreign country. That's what we have in mind, but there's some flaws to that and some bugs to that idea that we're working through right now as I speak.
It's a student question for you, kind of on this note. What's your pregame ritual, or do you have one?
Biggest thing is, I mean, the time is set up in such a way that, you know, the ritual's kind of the routine. The ritual's kind of the routine. And then the funny thing that I've discovered is, even though the games will be at different times, I mean, because you know you typically get to the stadium the same amount of time before a game, and the same, and you know I'll just naturally do stuff, and then I'll look at the clock and I'll say, you know, this is the exact time I always do this. I would say one is I always wear my own belt, you know, because and the reason is because my belt's broken in. So like they had these belts that college football, those rhinestone cowboy-looking belts kind of took over, you know, with all the metal hardware on them. You know what I mean? That just wasn't my style. I mean, I'm sure it looks great on some people, but I mean, you know, what is this? I got a belt and there's this hunk of metal, you know, studded throughout the thing or whatever. And so I didn't like those. Then I had another one that was it was kind of plasticky and stiff. So I just said, screw this, I'm going to just wear my belt. And so I do that, I guess, but that's more of a practical thing. One time we had a doctor, I haven't done this. If they have them, I'll take them. Don't know if they work or not. I haven't ruled against them. B12 shots. We had a doctor that was giving some folks B12 shots, and our strength coach was really into the B12 shots. And so, you know, and so I'd get the B12 shots, you know, and I guess we won the game or whatever. That I got the first one, and then then after that, you know, I had to hurry on the field. I said, no, I don't have time for the B12 shot. Well, bottom line is you know, there's a superstition existed with him and a couple other guys that hey, part of the voodoo here is he has to get his B12 shot, you know. And so then it got to the point where I got the B12 shot more for them than for me, just because I didn't want I didn't want a couple nervous coaches. I wanted them settled down, and taking the B12 shot would be a small price to pay. And so, I mean, you'd be surprised how many times there in the coach's locker room, which is sort of separate and off the side in Lubbock, I'd be bent over a table when the referees would come in, get my some doctor sticking a B12 shot in there so everybody's got peace of mind and stuff.